What to read? What to read? I don't know. I just got this. Everyone's talking about this book lately, it seems, so I might have to read this. It's pretty short. So that's an option. I started this for spooky season. I don't know how I feel about it because I'm not really in the mood for this right now, but I haven't completely given up on it yet. It might be time for some science fiction, and this one's kind of small. That is an option. I don't even know what this one's about. Let's see. This book has really put me in the mood for like steampunk. I don't really have much steampunk. Oh, you know what? Maybe this is a good time for this, and then I can decide if I want to unhaul it. This is an option. Good morning. I am at the park right now. I was gonna go to a thrift store because I'm looking for like different hoodies, like sweaters, and maybe some just like more like oversized t-shirts. Just changed their hours. They don't open till 10:30, but I guess that works out better anyways. So I'm here at the lake. We have a showing at 1 o'clock. I promised my son I was gonna get him the next book in the Wings of Fire series, so I'm probably gonna do that, or I'm gonna go home and work on my real estate class. Oh, I'm gonna use this bench here to stretch out my legs because my legs and hips are really tight right now. When I go to the chiropractor, he does this thing where he like pushes on my leg and I just like push against it, and it's supposed to stretch out the hip flexors. It's amazing how much that works. I haven't been to the chiropractor in a while. I hate to go. It's like $40 every time I go for like 5 minutes. Definitely can't jog if I'm like super tight. The cutest dogs in the world just distracted me and I forgot to grab my headphones out of my car. Break in here. Oh my god, I'm an absolute mess, I swear. My nose is running, my eyes are watering. My back hurts. This is not going well. But it needs to happen because I'm tired. I'm tired of like my clothes getting a little bit tighter. It's so annoying. So this is happening. Fix that light. I don't know what's up with my voice right now. So I'm sorry. I finished The Peculiars. It was so good. I really liked it. I think I'm gonna give it like 4.5 stars. I can't tell you, I don't know why it's not a solid 5 stars. I mean, everything is great about it. It should be like a 5-star, knowing my 5-star ratings. My voice is super messed up right now. I don't know what's up. But like the last 50 pages, I got like really hungry because we had a really early dinner. So I just got a little something to eat. And I pulled Incarceron off my shelf. I really want to start it. I've been like fighting a mild headache like all day. And I think it's just finally caught up with me. And towards like, I just need to sleep it off. I did take something for my headache, but I don't know. It's, you know, by the time the medicine sets in, I should just be asleep anyways. I'm a little bit worried if I stay up much later, I'm gonna be really tired for tomorrow. I usually start waking up like around 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning, so the more sleep, the better. Anyways, I might aim to just read like a chapter. I really want to start it, and I'm hoping that it's gonna be really good, so that I have something I'm really excited to read. This is the shakiest, shittiest video ever. Oh, this is so much better. Oh, let's try this again. So I just got home. I took the kids to school and went to the grocery store. I left my groceries in the trunk of my car. I haven't had coffee yet. That was one of the reasons I had to go to the store this morning before I did anything. So anyways, do you ever have that moment where like, there's like a book that you like and then you hear someone's review of it and you're like, wow, I kind of hate that I liked that book. Like that makes so much sense. So I'm watching the Book Leo's like old videos. She did the book sacrifice tag like 6 years ago. And she was talking about, she was sacrificing Fallen by Lauren Kate. And I liked that book. I mean, it had its problems, definitely, don't get me wrong. But the way she talked about it, oh my gosh, I'm just like, that makes so much sense. Like, I hate that I liked that book now. Not so much, not really. Anyways, what she said, her criticism of the book was the romance was really bad because of the two love interests. What's the love triangle? So the two love interests, like, over and over and over again fight over the same girl. And when you think about it like that, it is excessively dramatic. It's excessively ridiculous and childish. Like, who does that? Like, get a new girl then, I guess. It's funny as shit. That's funny. So that is that. I'm gonna go get my groceries now and then probably set up my laptop in the office. It's gonna be a really weird day. I have to pick the kids up at 1 o'clock. By 4 o'clock, they have a dentist appointment. And then we gotta come home and get ready and do homework and all that kind of thing.
Aaron's watching The Lion King. I wish the adult dentist had these.
What's today? Tuesday?
Yeah.
It is Tuesday evening. Updates? There are none. There are no updates.
One update.
What did you get? What, you want to show them what you got? You want to tell what you got? Well, come over here.
Okay.
First of all, what series are you reading?
Wings of Fire.
Well, get over here.
Okay, fine.
Here, right here. On mommy's lap. I'm just kidding. I'll cut that out.
Don't do that. Don't put that in. Wings of Fire. Probably show it, right?
Yeah.
Wings of Fire, and my one of favorite season. What do you call it? Series. And I just finished book 13. And
How many books are in the series so far?
15, but 15's not coming out until next year.
Next year. I feel your pain.
And my book 14's gonna come tomorrow. But the favorite thing about this book is usually it's in Dragon's point of view, but it's in the scavengers or humans.
So this book is going to be in the human's point of view.
From book 1 to 10.
All of the books?
Almost all.
That's a really intriguing idea.
Yeah, they put...
I might actually have to see what that's like. Do you think I could get the whole story? I can get all 15 books?
I think you could...
Story if I read one book? But just from a different perspective?
I mean, basically...
Oh, we don't know because we haven't read it yet.
You basically, if you read this, you're reading from book 1 to 10 in Scavenger's point of view.
Okay.
Also, apparently they were gonna...
Oh, show that map. That is a beautiful map.
Oh, yeah. It's actually different from all the others, because, like, it says, here be dragons probably.
Maybe. So this is the Scavenger's map.
Mm-hmm.
Is it different than the Dragon's map?
Very different.
What does the Dragon's map say?
Like, this area right here, that would be the Ice Wings, which it says, here be dragons, ? This is the Sandwing Kingdom. I think it's the biggest kingdom. Wait, no, that's the Seawing Kingdom. Never mind. Here would be the, they call these Mountain Wings, but they're Sky Wings Kingdom. underwater dragons, which are sea wings, which live in this area.
And what does it say on the scavenger
Mud
map?
wings are the smallest area because they live like right here.
Oh, and what does it say on the scavenger's map?
The first one says, "Here be dragons?" Question mark. That would be the Icewind Kingdom. Sandwing would be "Here be dragons." Desert Dragon Palace. Terrifying Viper Pit of Dragons. You'll see.
That's funny.
You'll see that in book 10.
And then over here where you said the sea wings, they put
Here be underwater
dragons.
Mountain Dragon
Because
Palace.
they don't know what they're called, huh?
Mhm. Here be dragons. Here be dragons for
The indestructible city.
Valor right here. This is where the main characters live.
Okay.
And here be dragons probably, which is the Rainwing Kingdom. And then there's Safe Harbor. The funniest thing about it is...
Are there any new dragons introduced?
No, but it is kind of funny because Nightwings usually be super important, but it looks like purplish for description. Habitat unknown. Watch out for these dragons. These are rarely seen dragons. They could be mutation of other types or nearly extinct species. Probably not very important, which is hilarious because in the actual book they're very important.
Oh.
And with the Rain Wings, they think they're the strongest of all because none has ever survived. But actually, with the dragons, they think they're super weak, which is hilarious.
That is really funny. So you can't wait to read that, huh? But you're waiting to read that after you read book 14?
Yes.
Why are you waiting? Because you could technically read this now. Because it's not going to spoil anything.
I know. I'm just
You
thinking.
just really want to catch up on the next book, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
like
be
it.
interesting because
Amazon is late on his book 14, and it's going to come tomorrow. So now what are you going to read tonight for tonight's reading?
my phone's comics.
Which comic book are you reading? I got him Hoopla with his own library card. So he gets his own 10 checkouts because I don't have any to spare.
Actually, 12.
You get 12? What?
Probably because I'm in kids mode.
That's not fair. He gets 12 checkouts. I'm going to steal some of your checkouts. If you don't use them. He never uses them. He uses like one a month.
No, I don't.
You
You
don't?
should see how many Minecraft comics I have on there.
Oh, well, good job. Cool. I'm glad that you're using them. So what comic book did you check out?
Minecraft.
Minecraft. Which, is there like a specific kind or one? I don't know. And I'm probably never going to read Minecraft comics.
Yeah. I just read them for entertainment. Because I like Minecraft.
There's so many other comic books available, and that's the one that you choose.
Also, yes, I did search for Undertale. Don't ask what Undertale is.
What is Undertale? I feel like when you say don't ask what Undertale is, you kind of want me to ask. Is that true or not?
It's a fighting game where you fight bosses with when you're
It's a game?
and you have to dodge things. Well, yeah. Basically, you have a heart and you have to control it and dodge stuff. If you get hit too much, you have to restart the boss battle.
So what is the comic like?
I don't know. There's no comics.
Oh, I thought you were saying it's a comic.
Yeah, that's why I searched it for.
Oh, okay. Are we ready to go to bed then?
You?
I need some more tea. You want some tea?
Yes.
Yes. Caramel bedtime tea? We gotta do it together. One. He's definitely my kid, huh? Alright. He's like, don't kiss me, Mom. Ew.
Hey,
Use those things called legs. Hello and good morning. It is, what is today? Wednesday, November 3rd. It's been a morning already, and there goes my phone. Starting with waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning for no apparent reason. I literally thought I heard my alarm going off. My alarm was not going off at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I just couldn't sleep. Well, then I started reading a little bit of the Iliac Crest. I should be about 70% of the way through on that. I'm kind of hoping to just finish it up very shortly. Kids were arguing this morning. That always makes for a really good morning. I didn't even get my coffee yet, and they were just already laying in on each other. And we ended the morning with my oldest son getting out of the car and wouldn't even say goodbye to me. So apparently I am mean. I'm so mean because I got mad at both of them for arguing. That's just gonna be how it's gonna have to be. On the way home, there's a little free library, and I took a little detour to basically just donate some extra books that I had in the trunk of my car. I wasn't gonna get anything unless they had something really spectacular. All right, so I dropped off about 5 books, and I found these 2. One is the Thomas Mann Reader. It's quite a big, chunky book. And then the other one is Madame Bovary. The outside of it is quite hideous. When you take the old weathered dust jacket off, it's actually a really pretty book. The Thomas Mann Reader contains short novels, Tonio Kroger, The Death in Venice, short stories, generous and self-contained selections from Buddenbrooks, The Magic Mountain, Joseph and His Brothers, Dr. Faustus, numerous essays dealing with literature, politics, music, and psychoanalysis. Of particular interest is an excerpt never before published in English. So I'll probably just take off the cover, and the book is just a basic black. Whoops, that was a pretty nice trade. I should probably get dressed. I don't really have any errands to run, but sometimes, you know, you just feel better when you just put on like fresh clothes, wash your face, put on a little makeup, even if you're just sitting at home. And we do have karate tonight, so I'll just be ready to go. What are you looking at, baby girl? You hunting lizards? All right, remember when I went to the thrift store the other day to get, I was looking for hoodies or sweaters? Well, I found this one. It's this huge oversized hoodie, or sweater actually. And it's got these like puff sleeves. Yeah, it's super baggy and comfy. It's like a big blanket. I was a little bit hesitant about the neckline. And then I kind of thought that the bottom hem was gonna be squishy like this. So I don't know about that, but it's quite baggy down here. I could probably do something like cut the sides and put little ties in it, or even like a knot to make it look a little bit better. That might get annoying. I don't know. As for reading updates, I was going to read this, Incarceron. I posted this on my Instagram, but there's this sentence in here is like the longest run-on sentence ever. Thankfully, I think it was the only one. I made it, I put the dust jacket on upside down and backwards. I made it to page 46. It's jumping perspectives, which is never, that doesn't bother me at all. It's also in the building up stage where you're getting to know everybody. And I guess you have this one class of people. I've already started doing a little bit of research, looking at reviews just to see if I should continue this story or not. Me trying to put a dust jacket on, guys. Okay. All right, so basically it's going to be alternating perspectives from this like group of royals and these people who are in the prison in Incarceron, where this takes place, what this book is all about. That really intrigued me. Like I said, after finishing The Peculiars, I was really in the mood for a steampunk. I don't think I've ever read like a purely steampunk book before. It's definitely something that really intrigues me. So I was like, this is gonna be awesome. It's not getting great reviews at all. I mean, there are some people, obviously with any book, there are people who love it and there's people who don't like it, but there's an overwhelming amount of people who don't like this book. So I think that I would be wasting my time to push myself through this. It was kind of a push just to get to page 46. That also could just be because of just when you're going into a book, just trying to get to know people. I just don't have great feelings about it. I feel like I've lost interest, and I actually checked out the audiobook of this. So we'll give it a try via audiobook, see if it grabs my attention that way. The other audiobook I grabbed was Into the Woods. In the Dark, Dark Woods by Ruth Ware. Wow, for a second there, I was like, didn't I already read this book? They just have very similar titles and actually similar covers. Anyways, so I'd like to read this just so that I can get rid of the book. It's been a while since I've read some poems. I did start this book. It's also on my Goodreads currently reading list. I would like to clean that up a bit and take some things off. I'm a little under halfway through on this. And then I have this Savage Grace. I thought this was fiction. It's actually based on a true story. It's supposed to be written like, there's like interviews and articles and letters, and that's how the story is told. So I think that's quite interesting. I'm struggling a little bit because this book, I think I found it for like 25 cents at a garage sale or something like that. I didn't really know anything about it. Obviously, it's also a movie, and it's talking about, you know, just a lot of drama, scandal, and all this crazy stuff. True story of fatal relations in a rich and famous American family. I love stories about the 1%, the upper class, because they always have, you think that like life is easier being rich or being rich and famous, and it's not. If anything, it's a lot harder, and you have more eyes on you watching everything that you do. Trust issues. I just find it really fascinating. This book is super old, and there are some pages that are quite ishy. I'm trying to get over it. It is time for me to actually get some work done. Stop procrastinating. I will figure out what I'm going to read later, because first things first, I need to make a list of things to do today. I need to call, schedule an appointment with an orthodontist. Oh, Aaron's gonna be so excited. His book came. It's the only hardcover one he has too. I guess they don't have a, because it's brand new. It's actually really pretty. I really like it. I'm so into the maps and stuff, and these are really cool. My son Michael had to do a project, and he picked the Wings of Fire book and did we had to make a leaf wing thing. So, put this in the car when he gets off. He's gonna be so excited. It is lunchtime. What am I gonna eat? Cornbread and chili. I think that's what I'm, oh no, wait, I have salad. I hate waiting till I'm like really hungry, because then like everything sounds good, and then a lot of times I'll end up like making a mishmash of a little bit of everything. Honey lavender, so good. I definitely feel like the stress leaving my body. Life updates. We officially signed the paperwork, accepting the offer. Now, if nothing changes and everything goes smoothly, our closing date will be December 10th. What I'm really trying to get at is the time is coming near where I'm gonna actually have to make a decision on my bookshelves. I think I did say that I will be able to get my stuff if I need it, if I really, really need it. But I'm just kind of hoping that I make some good decisions where I don't need to, you know, dip into my boxes and try to unpack them. I already have to go in and unpack one box that I packed away of all the Wings of Fire books, because my oldest son wants to read them now. I might take you with me as I kind of make more of those decisions. I have been reading this, and I am into chapter 4 now, I think. I think the thing that stands out to me most is it's actually really funny. I really love the kind of humor that our character has. I think that's all for updates. I am feeling maybe just a little bit overwhelmed, a little unfocused with what I want to read. And I think that's just because I haven't invested that much into this yet.
Since I got homework.
You have no homework and you're caught up on all your projects? Okay, yeah.
Alright, thanks, Mom.
Yeah, I'm still kind of waiting to get super hooked and super invested I think as I dig into it a little bit more. So chapter 5 is page 72, so almost 100 pages in. I guess there's no sense in procrastinating. I was gonna wait until after the inspection and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, things can always happen, but I guess it's better to just be prepared for anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my bookshelves today. I'm gonna have to like rearrange the garage a bit and find a box. My husband moved it, so it's probably at the bottom of the stack, go figure. I wanted to work on my real estate class, I guess. So I don't know if that's gonna happen today. I'm gonna do the boxes and things like that first. I wanted to edit some of my vlog. I've got a lot of video clips and things on my phone now, and we'll do some studying another day, I guess. Or maybe later I'll have time, we'll see. All right. It's quite a bit later this afternoon. I got quite distracted upstairs. I meant to just like edit for a little bit, have a cup of coffee. It went way over that, but that's okay. I did actually do a lot of work this morning already. On the shelves, I kind of started making piles. These are all maybe I want to pack them, maybe I want to leave them out. I haven't decided yet. Here, I think I want to keep most of these out. Both of these shelves are going to get packed. These are all my contemporary books. I'm considering actually leaving those out and making a point to read them, because here's the thing. I've had them for a long time. They're not books that I would keep. I want to read them and get rid of them. I'm really not into contemporary that much. A lot of the contemporaries that I read are at best 3 to 4 stars. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad books. They just don't super wow me, because they're just everyday love stories, kind of gimmicky things. Like, I guess simply put, they're just not super my thing. I do want to read them, probably unhaul them. This shelf. I think for the most part, I want to be keeping most of those at least easily accessible. I have some fantasy and some poetry, and I have some classics. We're going to work on this and then kind of divide those ones I'm just still not sure about and ones I'm definitely keeping out. And just while I work on this, I am going to listen to the audiobook of In the Woods or Into the Woods, whatever, the Tana French one about the woods. Time to do this section. I'm just gonna go kill some vampires. This is how you hold a scythe. Want me to show you? Come here. Let's stake Aaron vampire. I'm showing them how you kill with this. And then this is a wooden stake, because it's for vampire slayers, so you can behead them. You can stake them. I'm failing at weapons class. Or stake to the heart. Dustin. However, in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, her first kill with this, is it the first kill? I can't remember. She like totally splits him in half. And splits him, and it was really gross because then he would like split in half. And she said something like, "You can't come back from that no matter who you are." This is amazing. I love it. Well, good morning. It feels kind of weird. It's kind of dark. It's a very gloomy, rainy day. It's super cozy to curl up and read. As you can tell, I have got a lot more done over there that we'll go through and I'll show you kind of what's going on over there. And I got a couple other stacks here and behind my camera, and I'll show you what those are all for in just a moment. I read about 100 books. A lot of those books are also audiobooks and ebooks. So this is way too many books, because this is like 170 books, and that's way too many books to keep out for my immediate TBR. But I am worried about like mood Reading, I have a box over here that I put a detailed label on. I did not do that for all my boxes. I think I'm going to add a couple more boxes. I'm gonna have to go buy them and buy some more tape, like a list of what's inside the box. And then those boxes will be like for easy access and I'll know what's inside of them. I think I'm going to try to reduce this down to 100 books at least. Actually, I might end up trying to take it down to about 50 books. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And, let's go ahead and do a walk around and I'll show you what's going on right now. These are game books and I think we're gonna go ahead and pack those. This is Aaron's Magic the Gathering game. I think we're gonna leave that out. This stack is books that I have read. So I'm going to actually do a wrap up, I think, on these. So that's why they're left out. I don't know which one. Maybe I'll just send her both of them. I was gonna send my sister these two. She's like, if you don't want any books. So there's a lot that I'm getting rid of, but I don't know if she'd enjoy it. I think these two she'd actually really like. This is a stack for books I'm actually currently reading, which I actually have to add a couple to this stack. These books are kind of like to get rid of, I think. I'm kind of deciding. These are probably going to stay out. Like once I read them, I'm going to donate them. This is like an emergency box. These are going to get packed for like emergency. This shelf, this shelf, this shelf, this shelf are all the other books that I really have a burning desire to read. I'm having a really hard time deciding which ones to keep out. This is all the books for the boys. Aaron has read all these. Now Michael wants to read them, which is excellent because now they're getting double use. Gotta love that. This shelf is all gonna get packed. It just, again, ran out of boxes. I think I'm going to, I might be getting rid of these. I don't know. I kind of just lost interest. I think I was expecting something else from this book that I don't even know. I forgot when I got this book because it's an ARC. Started to read it. I think she's like, there's like a camera. I forgot what this book is about. What is it about? So she's a blogger. She's a fashion blogger. The problem with this was she was so self-depreciating. I understand she's trying to talk about what it is to be a plus-size girl, but it was devastating to hear the self-depreciating. Is this gonna work now? I had to delete a whole bunch of stuff. I guess we'll go ahead and go over some currently reading and TBR for this month. I would like to have these read and packed up. First, let's talk about this one, A Tale of Two Cities. I started it. I've made a pretty good chunk through. I'm like 130 pages in. I just feel like I'm really having a hard time getting into it. It feels like a task and a chore, and it's taking out the enjoyment of it. I definitely can appreciate Dickens' writing, but I'm just having a really hard time following the story. So I'm thinking I'm actually gonna end up putting this one down. I'm keeping out 3 other Dickens novels. One is The Pickwick Papers, one is Bleak House. That one I just have an intense burning desire to read. The concepts will be a lot more interesting to me than maybe Tale of Two Cities, just the subject matter in general, perhaps. So maybe that will help me get into it more. So I think that's gonna be a really good place to start. And then the other one I left out is Great Expectations, and that is like the iconic Dickens book that everyone should read. So I feel like maybe that would be easier to like get into. So I have it open on my Goodreads shelf as a book that I'm currently reading, and I kind of just want to tick it off. The Shell Collector by Anthony Doerr. I started this summer. This is a collection of short stories, and so far I've really liked them. So I feel like I might as well finish it and pack it away. Well, over halfway through, and that is The Prince by Machiavelli, and I feel like I should just finish it. Also, the Iliad, I started this a long time ago. However, I think that this one's completely fine just to read here and there. So I might end up packing this. I'm not 100% sure. It's just a book that I had started and opened and just haven't finished yet. This is a book I just started. I really got into it yesterday. I read quite a big portion of it. About 125 pages into it. I thought this was a young adult book. I was really hesitant about whether I was really gonna like it. It's a Victorian setting. So far, I'm really into it. About a woman who's an undertaker and her husband. They run a business together. Technically, it's his business and she married into it. This is an issue that comes up, but it's very, very interesting. I feel like it's very well researched. It's very scientific. They go into great details of explaining how mortuary, is that the right word? A mortician's job or mortuary work and the practice of funerals went in detail. I'm sorry if this gets gross, but the process of like draining the blood from the body. And at this time, not everyone would get embalmed. On the other hand, this is also about her and her husband's relationship, and well, you have to read it. Let's just say he is kind of an asshole, and she's such an interesting character. She fights back. She has a lot of opinions. I really love that about her character. She's quite the feminist of her time. They're like upper class citizens, and she is just not really the homemaker type, and she gets criticized a lot from that, from her husband, from her mother-in-law. It is slower paced, which I think fits the time period, and it fits what's going on very well. I have read some criticisms on this book that like this book didn't know what it was supposed to be, but at least so far, I would have to disagree, but you wouldn't want a plot line to be super one-dimensional. I find it far more interesting if there's a lot of other stuff going on. It'd be more realistic to life. So we'll have to see. Maybe that will change. Another book I would like to read, I haven't started it yet, is called Succubus Blues by Rochelle Mead. I need to read this book this month because if it sucks, if it's really bad and I can't get into it, I have almost the whole series. If it sucks and I feel like I don't want to read the series, then I can get rid of them and I don't have to pack them and cart them around. That's pretty important. Quite a few other books I'm probably not actually going to end up mentioning. We'll mention it when I get to them, but those for now are my priority. I got boxes. Now I can pack the rest of these things away. So I'm listening to Into the Woods. I was really excited for this book. I thought I was going to really like it. It's not really the kind of genre that I usually listen to because it is a crime thriller, like a detective crime thriller. I don't know what to call it. It is by Tana French. So how do I explain this book? First of all, it's really long. Audiobook has 21 parts. I'm on chapter 13, just over halfway through. So we have this detective and his partner, who's also his longtime best friend. The detective had gone through a traumatic event when he was younger. I think it was him and two girls were in the woods or something, and the girls went missing, and he was like the only survivor. We don't really know about his story yet. That is one of the things that's propelling me to read on in the story, because I kind of want to know. But now he grew up, changed his name, and became a detective. I get the impression from like the beginning, it's been a while, from the beginning that wouldn't have been his first choice profession, but he almost makes it sound like it's kind of a natural progression of one's life once they go through such a traumatic event like he did. Maybe for him it is. So that makes me believe that it's not like his true passion. His partner is the only person who knows about his past, and he's trying to keep that under wraps. So he gets put on this case, and it is eerily close to his case. Like, they could be linked. He and his partner are like trying to go about working on this case without letting his boss know, because he would take him off the case and keep his story a secret. Is that the word kismet? It wouldn't be kismet if like this wasn't gonna also blow open his own case, right? We can already tell whatever is happening on this is probably the same thing that happened in his case. Maybe it won't go that way. Maybe not. I kind of feel like it's going to, though. Not necessarily a bad thing, just kind of a convenient thing. Sometimes I don't like when things are too convenient. It's a thing that I just really makes the story feel like kind of more of and takes a lot of realism out of it.
So it just depends on how it's done. I have been surprised before where things seemed very, very convenient, but then as things tied up, they weren't related, but it was just the fact that what they were trying to highlight is that the main character was working through some of their own things. And so the similarities helped them sort out the problems they haven't been able to sort out until then. So that's kind of one of those things that I think could work well. So who knows how this is going to end up, but just a thought that I'm having at this moment. So how am I feeling about this book? It's really long, which is fine. The writing is actually really nice. There's some moments in here that are really funny. I love the banter between our two main characters, detectives. They're longtime friends. So I'm really liking their friendship and their relationship. I also like the realism of a detective story. I was trying to think if I'd ever read another story that was like a detective story, and I have not. So maybe they're all like this, and this is nothing new. But I like that I think that it's pretty realistic to how a murder investigation would go. Our detectives are more just trying to get a sense of the story and what happened and who's connected and following different leads. And still at this moment, they don't really have anything concrete about what happened that night. They're just still kind of, okay, now based on these people's story, maybe this is what happened, maybe this is what happened. So coming up with these hypotheticals to start coming up with ideas of what to do next. And I think that's really interesting. However, it still feels really long. Like I said, for a long, slow book, though, as long as the writing is nice, it's okay. But I just got to a point where it's not like a page-turning thriller, like keeps you on your toes. It's more of a sit back and contemplate sort of attitude. And I'm kind of getting to the point where I don't even know if I care about the whodunit. I feel a little bit lost within the story. That could be because I'm listening to an audiobook. But I think there is something that's maybe just a little too slow to keep my attention. But and now the part that I just got to, I'm thinking I should just DNF this book because just pretty much totally lost interest. But this part actually irritated me and frustrated me so much. And it's probably a spoiler. I'm going to keep names out of it. I feel like if you listen to this and you haven't read this and you want to read it and you don't want to be spoiled, if I leave the names out and I just give you a tiny little glimpse of what's going on, it won't completely be spoiled until like you get there in the story. So there is that, but I am going to give some details about a situation in this book that I'm really just not happy with. So our detectives go up to this house to interview somebody. He has been accused of being a part of a rape when he was younger, like a teenager, and now he's older. I'm like trying to censor everything I say so much, trying to soften him up a bit, make him feel like he can be comfortable around him. And then he basically comes out he doesn't have a whole lot of tact, I don't think. He basically comes out and asks him if he raped a girl. And he's been accused of it. And so, of course, and I think it was either right before that or right after that or right around the same time, he's also got really upset about another accusation that he claims the detectives have been kind of looking at him funny about this the whole time and kind of thinking that he's this type of person. And he's like, look here, I'm not that kind of person. So he's getting very defensive. Any natural person would. And he's like, you better leave and stuff like that. So the detective is like, now hold on. First of all, I'm not going to be the one arresting you. Second of all, I'm just trying to connect dots to get the story. I can't make any promises. If you want me to find the killer, I need your story. Lastly, he says, besides whatever you say is not admissible. Now that could be debated. That could be analyzed a little bit further. The rules can get kind of tricky when it comes to things that are admissible. Still, whatever, once you say it, it's out there. I think even if it's not admissible in court, it can still be used against you. This is a very important distinction, but that's a whole nother story. That's all it takes. Just those 5 statements from the detective. This guy just tells his whole story. He does. He admits to having a part in the rape by holding the girl down. It goes beyond that. First of all, no natural person would ever admit that. They would lie and lie and lie and lie. That would not be enough to get them to talk. And 2, not only does he admit to having a part in it, but he goes on to this whole long flowery description of the entire situation. And it's like a sympathetic story. Well, I didn't know what I was doing, sort of thing. And I was a kid, and we were all kids, and we were just doing things. And at the time when it was going on, it just seemed to last forever. And like almost trying to get sympathy for him. And I'm like, that's about the time when I was like, I have got to talk about this. And now that I'm almost thinking that I just am going to DNF this book, because it's not even that it makes me that angry, because I think it's stupid, not realistic. It's taken all kind of. So what am I going to read next then is the question. Literally on my next to read, I am working on this one. Oh, what time is it? Because that will determine if I get to read or not. 1:16. Yay, I have like an hour and a half. Hey, how's it going? So this week that I vlogged was such a busy, rewarding week. I went through so many different books, whether or not I decided to read them or to DNF them, but it was just like a really, really good reading week. That being said, this vlog would be like over an hour if I put it all together. So stay tuned for part 2. I hope that you are enjoying these vlogs. Let me know what you think.